Happy holidays, my lovely friends. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruru. How do you do? Doing another Autism Chat video. This time, obviously, maybe not obviously, but we're doing holiday themed chat. And of course I have to show you my shirt because, hold on. Oh, it's hard to get in there. It says, have a catty little Hisman. And it has a skunk, a raccoon, and a little possum. Isn't that hilarious? It goes nicely with my possum necklace. So anyways, now that I have that out of the way, it's very important. Welcome back to my channel if you're new here. Sometimes I talk about autism. I was diagnosed October 2021. I am 31 years old, and a lot of times on this channel I make videos where I sort of just talk about various topics and how I see them, view them, how I'm processing them. I don't know. But a lot of you guys seem to like it, so it's become like a series on my channel basically. Which is cool. I'm glad you guys like it. But as always, I always tap on something throughout the video just to have some nice sounds in the background since it is an ASMR video. And I thought we should have a like Christmas themed trigger. So I have this little nutcracker. We match, aren't we cute? But he has some nice wood sounds, so I'll be tapping on him throughout the video. So I haven't really planned this video or like scripted it, which is always a great idea. I just thought I would talk whatever comes out of my head, as I do sometimes, like chaos vibes, you know, about holidays, because holidays are difficult, especially as an autistic person, and yeah, let's talk about it. So like, I feel like the end of the year is very stressful for me because, one, winter and cold and lack of sunlight all very negatively affect me. I often get like seasonal affectives or seasonal depression. I'm very heavily influenced by the weather and the lack of sunlight, so that in itself is a whole thing that is happening during this time. And then on top of that, you have all of these like big social holidays, I feel like, crammed at the end of the year and like the beginning of the year. And there are heavy expectations that go along with them. And it can be quite difficult. So, I live in the United States, so not only do we have Christmas at the end, or at least I celebrate Christmas, we also have Thanksgiving at the end of November, which is, I would say, the most difficult holiday for me. I've, like, ever since I was a kid, I hated Thanksgiving. Like, you go to someone's house and there's a bunch of food that you don't necessarily want to eat, and a bunch of people who maybe you don't really know that well, and like, I don't know, when I was a kid we would just go, and there would always be like a football game on TV, American football, not like the football the rest of the world knows. And I hate football. And there's like this expectation that you need to chat with people who you don't normally chat with, and maybe you don't have a lot of in common with. It's like I understand why that's, something I should do, or like why we do it. Like, you should enjoy getting together with your family. But like, it's just not a good environment for me. And it never has been. And I just, like, Thanksgiving is just a holiday centered around eating food and talking to people. And that just isn't something I like anything to do with it. Like, I'd rather be doing something else and have like something to focus on if I'm going to socialize. But like, the whole holiday is just focused around like chit-chatting with people that you may not know very well, who are in your family or whatever. I don't know. It's very difficult. So Thanksgiving is always like very stressful for me. It's my least favorite holiday. And then obviously after that, you have Christmas at the end of December. But I find that Christmas is kind of the entire month of December. I don't know if it's like that for you guys. But like, people want to do stuff and hang out, and like, it feels like the entire month of December is just social obligations. And like, you can't say no because it's Christmas. Like, people expect you to be involved in the holiday because like, it's a happy, joyous, whatever. I don't know. So like, I feel like it takes up the entire month of December, and like, I'm someone who genuinely like needs like an entire month to decompress from like social obligations, and that just isn't something you get at the end of the year. It's just like one thing after another, and I can never like chill, like what's the word, like, I can't decompress from it. It's just like constant. I sound like a real Grinch. But what I'm trying to say is like, it's just not, the way we do holidays is not ideal for the way I am. And the other thing is like, when I was a kid, like, yeah, it was fun. I liked Christmas, but our family was a lot smaller, and it wasn't like a big social gathering. It was like, you do Christmas Eve, you do Christmas Day with the family, presents, that's it, like, it wasn't a big social gathering, so that wasn't a big deal. But as I've gotten older, my family has expanded, and there's a lot of people, and like, any family get together is like huge. Like, there's no small family get togethers because it's just expanded. So like, every single gathering with like my entire family is it's just a lot, because that's just something that happens. People have kids and whatever. The family gets bigger, so it's just like a big thing. And so like, Christmas Eve I spend with my family, and it's just like a lot of people crammed into a house, a lot of noise, just very, very overwhelming. But I do my best, and I try to be like, I don't know, I'm just like, I try to be there, be present, get through it. That sounds terrible. Like, I don't mean to sound like this horrible person, but I do. I know I do right now. But I feel like you guys get it. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just acknowledging that, like, this stuff is hard. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to be rude. So I do the things, and then in January I get to take a long break, hopefully. I'm like, I will have my overwhelm during these months, and then hopefully I will not see people for a few months. Like, you know, I hope I don't come across as like a terrible person in this video. And if like you're a member of my family and you found my channel, which I hope you never do, and you're watching this, it has nothing to do with you. It's me. It's me. I'm the problem, as Taylor Swift says. Please don't be offended. The other thing, which is slightly lighter, I wanted to talk about is Santa Claus. Because I was big into Santa Claus when I was a kid, and I believed it like with all of my heart and soul. And like, you know, those kids that would like tell you, oh, Santa Claus isn't real, I would freaking fight them, be like, you kidding me? Like, there's so much evidence for Santa Claus, and like, why would the adults tell us he's real if he wasn't real? And like, you know, like, I'm very, like, I want to believe that like people are telling the truth, and like, it was like my first time in life that I realized I was being deceived. And like, I think I believed in Santa Claus like for a longer than acceptable period of time. Like, I was a bit older. I don't think like super old, but like my peers had probably figured it out. And I remember the Christmas that I pieced it together. I was like devastated. And I felt so stupid. And I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's lied to me. This was all a lie. Like, how can this, like, something I've believed for so long isn't true? And I felt just horrified. It was like my first major disappointment in life. Like, but like, I think I take people at face value, and I want to believe that what they've told me is true, though I believed it for quite a long time. That was really hard for me to like figure out. I was like, oh my god, like, let me tell you a story. When I was a kid, like, I loved like the magic of like Santa Claus and stuff, and I was like, I genuinely thought Santa Claus came into our house and left presents. And I remember I was awake like the night before, or maybe the early morning or something, and I was like, oh my god, Santa Claus is in our house. And I was sleeping, and like, Santa Claus came into our room, and it was my mom. Like, but I didn't open my eyes because I was like, oh my god, Santa Claus is in the room. And like, I think she like, I don't know, adjusted my covers or something like that. And I was like, oh my god, Santa Claus touched my blankets. Like, and like the next day I very excitedly told everyone that Santa Claus had come into our room. And like, I was so excited, like, but yeah, I kind of feel like we shouldn't do Santa Claus. Like, I don't know, because when I found out I wasn't real, I was truly like felt betrayed. And I don't like, I feel like you can do Christmas and it'd be a fun time for kids without this like fake creepy old man coming in your house, you know? I don't know. Anyways, the point is, I believed in Santa Claus for a very long time, and when I found out it wasn't true, I was like very sad about it. Like, I really just felt so deceived. I don't know if any of you relate to that, but like, I'm a very believing person. I want to believe people are telling me the truth. And that was like my first realization that like maybe everything people tell you isn't true. But yeah, that was my little story time. But I think the point of the video is that this holiday season can be very overwhelming for us when it's like it's supposed to be a very happy time for everyone, and like people enjoy getting together with their families, but like the way it's kind of set up is difficult for me personally. And I just find these big social gatherings with lots of people to be very overwhelming, very overstimulating, and there isn't much of a break to be had for like 2 months, you know, maybe not 2 months, maybe like a month and a half, and that's difficult, and I think it's okay to recognize that that is difficult. I don't think there's really a solution, you know. It's like, it is what it is. It's like a human tradition that we keep doing, and like, I don't want to be rude to my family, so I just sort of suck it up for a month and a half and feel uncomfortable, and then I'll like hibernate, you know. I remember, oh, you know what I want to talk about? You know what was my favorite Thanksgiving holiday ever? Was COVID. Because we didn't have like a gathering. No one gathered for Thanksgiving. So my fiance and I did our own Thanksgiving. We made our own Thanksgiving food, and it was so good. But like that morning we went for a hike because we really like hiking, so that was really fun. And then we prepared all these like Thanksgiving type foods, which like is not something I've ever done. And it was really good, and I was able to make it without like dairy or anything because I'm lactose intolerant, can't have dairy. And I was like, I can eat all these foods, and they're like really, really good. And I was like really proud of us for making this feast. It was like a legit Thanksgiving dinner, you guys. But like, I got to spend it with him, and it was like the perfect Thanksgiving, honestly. That sounds terrible, but like, that's how I feel about Thanksgiving. And then, I think I spent Christmas alone that year too. I don't know what my family did, but I didn't go. I don't know if they did anything. I think they did, but I didn't go. And then my fiance went to see his family on Christmas, and I just didn't feel comfortable. So I like stayed home. We do Christmas together, like Christmas morning. We like exchanged presents. And then I stayed home. And I remember he came home that night, and I was like, hey, can we go for a walk? Because it was like snowing, and it doesn't really snow on Christmas here, but it did that year. So we went for a walk like in the dark and the snow, and it was like, oh, so good. So like, I mean, I think that's a probably a common experience with autistic people. Like, we did really well during the pandemic, and like, it was a good excuse not to socialize and go to these overwhelming events. Do you guys relate? Is that how it was for you too? Like, I genuinely, like, I'm not trying to make light of the pandemic, but it was so good for me because I could turn stuff down without having to feel that like shame, feeling like I'm letting someone down. It's like, no, this is a legit reason, you know. Did you guys feel that way too? Anyways, I feel like this video is kind of all over the place. But the point is, holidays are very overwhelming. And I really do try to enjoy them. I really do try. I do. But I just honestly dread this time of year. And that's a valid feeling to have if you feel that way too. It just isn't really just how we celebrate these holidays is not ideal for people like me that are not, I don't know, that like suffer with social anxiety and overwhelm and overstimulation, and so we're just acknowledging that here. And it's an okay feeling to have. I see you. Like, I'm sorry if you feel the same way. it's just, yeah, it's a hard time for sure. But let me know if you feel the same way, if you can relate to anything I said. I always love hearing from you guys. Some nice tapping sounds. Okay, guys, I guess I'm going to end the video here. I'm sorry I didn't script it and it was kind of all over the place, but I feel like you guys are probably used to that by now. So, anyways, I hope the holidays are okay for you and you get through them and you don't get too overwhelmed. I hope you find a way to enjoy them, whatever that may be. And I love you guys. I wish you the happiest of holidays. If you don't celebrate holidays, I wish you a happy day. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out on my channel as always. I love you guys. You're doing amazing. You're killing it. Alright. I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you. Kisses.